Komisar. I'm a psychoanalyst, parent guidance expert, and author of the book Being There: Why Prioritizing Motherhood in the First 3 Years Matters. And I'm here today to talk to you about children's fears and anxiety, and how you can help your children with some of those fears and anxiety. You know, fears are really a normal part of the human experience, and even a healthy part of the human experience. It's not when children feel frightened, and sometimes children feel frightened for very normal reasons and normal developmental reasons. But when fear is acute, as human beings we can deal with it. If it's chronic and persistent, then it can cause something called anxiety, which is a bodily experience of fears that are persistent. And by bodily, I mean that you actually feel the symptom in your body. So there are some common fears that children feel. Fear of the dark, fear of separation, fear of aggression. And fear of aggression is a big one. And fear of aggression means not only fear of other people's aggression or anger, but fear of their own aggression. Because there's many things that go on in the first few years of a child's life that cause them to feel angry at one parent or another. And this can make them feel very, very uncomfortable and even frightened of their aggression because they don't know what to do with their aggression. And as parents, it's very important that you can help them to feel more comfortable with some of these fears so the fears don't then turn into anxiety. There are some common contributors to children's fears. Some of those common contributors are developmental, meaning part of normal development. Children, particularly in what we call sexual development or Oedipal development, will develop aggressive feelings towards one parent or another, depending on their gender. And at that time, children between the ages of 3 and 6 will often have nightmares, will often push the parent of the same gender away and embrace the parent of the opposite gender. And so this can cause fear of their own aggressive feelings. When children have nightmares or are afraid of ghosts or monsters in the closet, it's a way to tell you that they feel frightened of their own aggression that's then being projected onto the environment. Some other common things that can cause or contribute to children's fears are parents' anxiety and depression. If a parent is struggling to regulate their own emotions and is very anxious or depressed, it can impact a child. So I always encourage parents to seek help themselves with their own feelings of anxiety and depression if they're feeling those feelings. Some other common contributors are loss of any kind: divorce, death, illness, moving, changing schools, starting school, a mother going to work. Any of these that occur, or circumstances that occur in a child's life, are kinds of losses. So to be on alert for some of these things that may contribute to some of their fears. So what are some of the symptoms or signs that a child may be suffering from some anxiety or may be overwhelmed by their fears? Some of these symptoms include behavioral changes, meaning if your child becomes more volatile emotionally or more aggressive. If they start to have more sleep issues, more eating changes, or regression of any kind. So if you see your child wanting to behave more like a younger child, either wetting their bed, or wanting to feed from a bottle, or wanting to be held like a baby, or wanting to talk like a baby, or wanting to wear diapers. These are some of the ways that a child is telling you this kind of regression, meaning going back a step in development, or some of the ways that your child may be expressing that they may be feeling some anxiety. There are some things as a parent that you can do to help your child with their fears and anxiety. One is to be as present physically and emotionally as possible, to be as affectionate as possible when they're going through something. 2 is to remove the stressors whenever possible, remove the causes of their fears and their stress, which may be causing their fears when possible, but it's not always possible. Another is to reflect their emotions and be as empathic as possible with them, meaning tune into how they're feeling and deeply why they may be feeling it, but try not to ask them why they're expressing their behavior in a certain way or why they're feeling frightened. Rather say to them, I wonder if you are feeling frightened because you're starting school or because mommy has to go to work. And as a result, you're actually using your own empathy to help them to understand what they're feeling. Another is to pay attention to transition. So we know that children who are feeling frightened or suffer from some anxiety, particularly are sensitive at times of transition, meaning transitioning from one activity to another, waking up, going to sleep, going to school, coming back from school, any transition of any activity. And so being sensitive around those transition times, being as present as possible, not rushing around those times. So these are some of my tips to help you, to help your children who may be suffering with some fears and anxieties. I am Erica Komisar. This has been my advice for parents of how to help their children with fears and anxieties. If you like this video, then please tune in to my YouTube channel for more videos and check out my website, www.komisar.com, and/or buy my book, Being There: Why Prioritizing Motherhood in the First 3 Years Matters.